Okay, we are live, I suppose. Now, um, hopefully everything works. I'm still going to say that every single time because I have no idea until I get confidence in the software and everything that we're doing. Um, so, what we're going to do today is we're going to, uh, I've got a couple GitHub issues that I've created. We'll work through each one, um, create a pull request for it. In this way, for future reference, if ever want to see the things that changed in this session and this live, then be able to match them together, see what changed. You can follow along a little bit. So uh, last night off live, I basically got this functional mostly. I got at least working. You can add things, but as you can see, there are some duplicates and some things don't work. So for now, we have this issue, which we should see the correct information in the session log. We've got a couple things to take care of, that the call signs are capitalized and use their as heard value. We have our name, which uses the license value if it's available. Location information should exist, and we should have one entry per call sign. So we need to go ahead and get those going. So let's get started. Okie dokie. So I like doing this first. Cool, we're up to date. And let's call this net session. You know what? We'll do this. I have no idea what episode this is, so we're just going to start it at 2 since this is the second one with StreamYard that's not messed up. Cool. Now, we are going to need, let's start with the view. Let's work backwards from the view. So everything's in internal. I think this will work. Okay, neat. So just so you can see, we have a few different directories here. The DAO, which I've mentioned before, possibly. That's how we access the database. The events where our events are stored. Handlers is all pretty much situated the way it's supposed to be. Now, if we look at this, it would help if I did this correctly. We can see our views. We each have the .temple files and the underscore temple. Underscore temples are generated by the temple tool. The .temples are the things we're going to be editing. So in this case, we are going to look at the net. So let's start there. Okay, we have our single net session, which has a traffic table. The traffic table is here, name, location, and time in. We have our form inputs, all that fun stuff. Great. So we're going to do a few things. First, what we're going to do is we're going to set ourselves up for success. We're going to wrap this in a span so that we can apply some special formatting to this to make it so that all call signs will look the same. Cool. Then we have I'm just going to do this. This is the let's do that guy. This is the This is our name. I'm basically doing this also so that it makes it clearer. So I can do the check-in call sign, check-in name. And this is the location. Cool. And we're going to see that this is the check-in time in. And you'll see why I'm doing this in a moment. Now, okay, the check-in name I have available to me, which, let's look at the model just real quick. Models, net check-in. We can see this is our model, and we can restructure this to get rid of that error in a moment. We can also embiggen. No, this is fine. We have our call sign, which is here, role call sign as heard, call sign as licensed. So what we want to do is if check-in dot name is not equal empty. If it's not empty, then we're going to use the call sign name. Otherwise, we're going to use the call sign check-in name dot as heard. We want to allow the as heard to take over. Otherwise, we're going to use the call sign as licensed. Okay, this is not. Let's see if we can fix this. It would help if. Cool. We could make it. We'll leave that alone for now. And so neat. We've got that. Now we also can do something similar. Check-in dot location dot. Let's see. We don't have the ability to give a location right now, but we do one day. Should we do that right now? No. So we've got this as heard, but in our ticket here, we said if invalid license should show unknown. Basically, if the name isn't available. So we have to fix that. Really, this probably should do the same for both. Okay, so as licensed, otherwise unknown. Cool. Let's let that format. I guess that is formatted. Okay, let's do this. We'll copy this down to 230. And this is for the location. Okay, if it's not blank, otherwise, this actually we didn't need to do that because this one, use it, otherwise unknown. This is a little gross. We can fix that later. And that's fine. Okay, let's save this, see how we did. For now, let's launch air. This is just going to auto compile things as we do it. Okay. Refresh. Come on, come to life. Okay, good. Name unknown, name unknown. That's fantastic. Cool. You can see it actually pulled this information from this is actually working because you can notice W4 bug here. The name is, this is manually typed in, and the location of this, because W4 bug is a, um, what's it called? It's a club. So that's a club call sign. So they are based in Pompano Beach. That's great. This is my call sign, and which is name. That's wrong. I think we can check that. I'm based in Coral Springs, and they're in Pompano Beach, and their name came through as, I think I may have typed that. So let's make sure. Call sign, call sign. Aha, this is the issue. It would help if I use the name. And this is why I use the Air app and have that set up. So I can just save this, and it recompiles everything because all the templates are compiled, all the assets are in the single binary, so all that sort of stuff. This makes it a little easier, and cool. So that's their name. This broke it. That looks gross. Right, which I don't, we'll fix that in a moment. So yeah, so the name wasn't provided. That's me. So their name came through. That's cool. And we'll fix what's going on. Like what someone could have a very long name. We're gonna have to put limits on that later. This is fine for now. Cool. So according to our work, this is correct. And the location should come from the license information. That works. Done. The call sign is capitalized and uses the as heard value. So this is correct. I could generate this, capitalize it here. Instead, sorry, here. Instead, what I'm going to do is say internal custom.css. Let's go to the bottom of this. And the class I added to it was this. Let's make it monospace and text transform uppercase. I think that's the transform we have to use. Let's let that refresh. Fantastic. That is absolutely wonderful. Okay. Now, so I have that information. Call sign is capitalized. Now I have to fix the call sign should have one entry. So the reason this happens, I believe, let's go to the models net, and we can see we have, just make this focused for now. When we replay the events, the rules that we have, so we have session opened, session closed, check-in heard. We're doing it by ID. We're basically saying we modify the check-in, otherwise we're appending it. Now we can go to the test for this. Model net. I think this is, does this have my test? Yeah, check-in. Okay. There's a lot of stuff here. We have to go to the one that does handling. It's correcting the session. hacking a session, verifying a session. Aha, okay, here we go. Check-in heard. Check-ins heard. Okay, so what I want to do, this test obviously is saying, hey, these are two unique call signs. What I want to do is improve this test. Let's add another event. So I copied that. The stream ID is the same. The time doesn't much matter here. Check-in ID. The ID, I'm going to make it have a different ID. 456-789. Call signs the same. In this case, we'll leave this alone for now. So we'll just say that we went and did the whole thing again. In this case, we only want to hear this output should be the same. We really just want this check-in 1, 2, 3. So we want to, this will simulate we checked someone in twice with the same call sign. Yes, and we only expect one on the output. So now we can stop that. Bring that up to the top. I expect this to fail. Okay, cool. So we got an extra check-in. Basically, that's what they're saying. The events didn't apply. Minus is what we want. Plus is what we got. So we got a whole extra check-in. So that means to fix it, we need to go to, on the left here, we really say, okay, range of that. If check-in ID is the same, that's that. Call sign has heard is call sign. And then these could theoretically, I want to just make sure that we don't have to worry about casing. Strings out to upper. It doesn't matter if it's upper or lowercase. I'm just doing uppercase. So that should take care of it. So if the IDs are the same or the call signs are the same, then we should be good. Why this isn't highlighting right, I'm not sure. We'll see if that fixed it. Neat. I'll just run that again so you can see it. It's cached. So we see some fancy output. All these tests are running. Cool. So now I can just restart air. I probably should just, you know what? Let's just do that now. Did I get it right? Cool. So that's running. Now let's see if that fixed this over here. It did. Huzzah. Cool. So now it only shows, and it shows in the correct order. I don't like this. How do we fix that? We could put a max length. We could put a character count, and then put a ... We can use, I think, we'll use CSS to actually force this. And then what I can do is say if it's over a certain length, ... and if you hover, it will do that. Or I could force a wrap. A wrap might be a little bit better. It'll make the row look a little bit less pretty. but that's okay. Uh, it'll just make a thicker row, and as long as things are aligned to the top, I think that would look okay. Um, so let's we'll deal with that in a moment. What this looks like for our ticket, I think we may have done everything. Each call sign should have one entry. Cool. So that's done. There was something else I wanted to take a look at. Let's make sure this still works. Okay. It did a check-in. It couldn't check it in down below. Let's refresh. Oh, yep. That was actually a real check-in. Cool. I managed to remember that. But we don't have the traffic type here. So I'm just going to do this. Because that makes sense. While we're here, we'll go ahead and add it. So let's go back to the view. We got to go to our table. We'll add it to here. We have location. How do we show it here? Traffic type. We'll see how this looks. So that means we can now go to our row here. We added it here, I believe. Check-in dot kind dot string. Okay, let's wait till that compiles. Okay, built all the templates and it's restarting. Traffic type unknown. Oh, I swapped these. No big deal. Which way does it go? Traffic goes down. Let's move this to 237. Templates are done. Cool. We should be able to refresh. Traffic type routine. Priority traffic. Neat. Also, for futureness, what I think we should do is have a class for the basically expose the traffic type as a class. This way, they can be styled independently. Like priority, maybe we want to make this whole thing red. Yeah, that would, I think, be good from a UI perspective. We want to indicate that this is a priority piece of traffic or it's priority. So let's see. Equals. I think I can do this. Check-in dot kind dot string. Wait for that to refresh. Okay, so now if we inspect, this might be terribly small. You have to take my word for it. The class is capital priority. So we should change this to, of course, we don't have strings. We need to import it. In the language server for Temple, they don't have the import stuff work, and Go imports doesn't do anything here. So I have to do it manually, which is fine. Okay, inspect. And it is there. You won't be able to see it, but it's there. Class equals priority. Okay, cool. So if we wanted to, when we're ready, we can make this whole thing good. So with that, we're done here. Let's commit this, and we'll go on to the next one. Actually, you know what? We're going to stop that here. We're approaching the 30-minute mark. I want to try to do these in 30 minutes, 30-minute Pomodoros. So let's get that done. What did we change? We added, we'll do this. We added the call sign class. So now any span that's a call sign will look the same anywhere in the system. Cool. We'll save that. We need this because we did to the model. We added it so that things only show once. Fantastic. We improved the test here, net session test. So we added an additional event, and we want to see that things look the same on the other side. And then in the template, we added the traffic type, and we made the actual check-in row functional. Notice we didn't do anything about time zones. The reason for that is I don't have the ability to capture the user's time zone right now. I don't want to just have it in the server time zone. I'd like to eventually get to the point where whatever time zone the account is set into. So there'll have to be some sort of service or something that does the actual formatting of time zone of times according to the user's preferences. Don't have that yet. So rather than just format it all now, I'm leaving it all as it's written to the database, which I believe I have in UTC. So that's why the time on these things is, it's wrong. It's just wrong because there's a time zone weirdness. So when we handle time zones, we'll go into making sure we get the times and do them in UTC, write them to the database in UTC, and then pull them out and convert them to the right time zone at the right time. Time zone at the right time. So we're not even just dealing with that right now. To the fact that it has a time is fine. And then, of course, we want that template file. Cool. Yes, all this fun stuff. Okay. What did we do here? We delivered number 2. And then I think that's how you do it in Git. It's been a little while since I've done it this way in Git. Usually Jira's involved. So what do we actually accomplish? Uh, Cool. We'll push this up. And now we can go here. I think. Nice. That actually did kind of what I wanted to do. I don't know. Okay. We can make this prettier later. And just to review, yep. All looking good. And let's create this as a pull request. Nice. There's the correct data. I don't have continuous integration or any of that sort of stuff, which is cool. Yep, I haven't done that. And we'll go ahead and merge this. Nice. And so now we've got our changes here. Fantastic. And it's rebuilding, so we can actually see that it worked. Obviously it did, because we saw it work. And everything's still functional. So that's fun. We got that feature done. We're going to look at the next time on whatever we call this channel. We should focus on this issue. We're going to focus on the next issue, which is going to be showing their status with annotations on the call signs and validation, all that sort of fun stuff. And we might even tackle the really long name thing as well. We'll see how we're doing on time. But with that, as always, you can check out the source. It's all there. The PR is there for review as well if you want to see it. You see the diff. So with that, time to take a break, and I'll catch you shortly. Thank you for your time.